Welcome to Often Pacing on Tab Radio Racing and Sport. Tim Walker will be joined by Matt Young and Oliver Cownie as they delve into the form for today's Pinjarra harness meeting, as well as an early look at tomorrow's meeting at Gloucester Park. We are Often Pacing.
To barge his way through. He's into the clear now, Hall Junior, and well back Diego trying to run on. Right off the track is Tenzing. Bromac third quarter, 27.8, still Minstrel in front of Captain Ravishing, who can't get there. Out wider is Mr. Smarty, and they're well clear at Diego. Minstrel has raced away from them. Denny Roberts, the Duchess, she might do it again. She's clear, but here's Mr. Smarty thundering home. Minstrel in front, Mr. Smarty cutting him down. Minstrel hanging on, and Minstrel has won the Cup. Minstrel has won brilliantly from second home Mr. Smarty, and then we've got on the outside.
There it is, the closing stages of the 2024 Tab Touch WA Pacing Cup taken out by Minstrel on Friday night. It's a very good morning, everybody. Welcome along to Often Pacing for another week. Tim Walker with you, and we've got a stacked show for you. We'll go straight into that Tab Touch WA Pacing Cup recap very shortly with Matt Young and Ollie Cownie, and also Aiden De Campo is going to join us today as a special guest. He's got a key hand to play in the country derby today. We can also talk about Captain Ravishing from Friday night and a look ahead towards this week as well. Sorodero winning last week's 4-year-old classic at Pinjarra, so there's plenty of ground to cover with him. But let's welcome in first and foremost Ollie Cownie. Good morning to you, Ollie.
Morning, Tim. What a great night of racing it was Friday.
Fantastic to be there, and we had every angle covered, and a big part of that was Matt Young on the Racing WA Harness X page. Hello to you, Matty.
Good morning again, Tim, Ollie, everyone tuned in.
Great to have you both on board today. Well, Ollie, we'll get to you firstly. We spoke to Matt throughout the course of Friday night's broadcast at Gloucester Park about the Tab Touch WA Pacing Cup. How did you come away from it with Minstrel beating Mr. Smarty in what was a terrific edition of the feature event?
What a fantastic race it was. It really did look one of those races on paper where a few of them could have won without really surprising. It looked wide open, but in the end, classes prevailed. Minstrel, don't think any horse deserved another feature race more than him. He's just been fantastic for so long, doing the work. He was fantastic in the Nullarbor earlier in the year, and he broke through and scored a very well-deserved victory there in the Pacing Cup. Mr. Smarty, it was an absolutely brilliant drive in the early stages to get that one out, one back trail. That was just amazing and nearly won the race. But in the end, I think Minstrel was just too strong. And a few of the runs in behind, Mighty Ronaldo was terribly unlucky. He was inconvenienced at a really crucial stage, and he flashed through in the end for third and was really good there. Thought Captain Ravishing very much had his chance and loomed into it strongly and just tired late. Whether he just didn't run out that 2,500 at the very top level, I'm not sure. And there were a few runners in behind that were a bit unlucky. Jumping Jack Mack was another one that couldn't get in early, was forced to the rear, and he finished off really well in the later stages. And Lavra Joe, his run on Friday was much better than his run leading the previous start, and he looks to be working back towards his best. I thought one that really did loom up, I thought Swingband was going to be right in the finish there, and he just didn't finish it off. And obviously Penny Tiger led and he pulled hard, and you didn't really want to be on him from a pretty early stage there, and he was well beaten in the end.
Yeah, he certainly was. And speaking to trainer Michael Brennan yesterday, is that everything is all right with Penny Tiger, so let's hope that we see him being a big part of these races going forward, and the best of him would no doubt be significantly more competitive than he was on Friday night. Matt, we were talking about it on Friday night, Trent and I, through the broadcast, and you think, well, it's just about career best, that for Minstrel, but you go back and look at the record that he's put together and some of his performances earlier this year in the lead up to the Nullarbor, and even the Nullarbor itself, he was tremendous. He beat Magnificent Storm in a Golden Nugget, and he's got a Fremantle Cup win as well. So there's some really good wins on the CV. But do you feel like that was career best Friday?
Yeah, I think the Golden Nugget was exceptional, and it's taken him a while to sort of get back up to that level. But I think, as Ollie mentioned, he's put up so many good runs in the last year, and it truly has been. He was third in the Pacing Cup last year, and since then, since about December last year, he's just gone to another level, and his performances have been absolutely outstanding. I think the only one that was questionable from him was his Fremantle Cup run, where he'd obviously come to the end of his preparation, which was completely fine because he raced so many times and put up so many wonderful runs. And, to see him do what he did on Friday night, I do think it was career best off 3 weeks, parked, race record, 155 for 2,500 metres, and had Mr. Smarty on his back and was able to hold him off late. So, I think it's really exciting to see him really come into his own, and he just seems to be pacing a lot better. His confidence is through the roof. There's just so many positives to take out of his performance from Friday and over the last 12 months, Minstrel.
For Greg and Sky Bond, clearly a big moment for them, another Pacing Cup win, and back a few years, Mighty Conqueror was terrific, winning his Pacing Cup in the beginning of 2020. But their job, Matt, and also the performance of Denny Roberts, we touched on it through the course of the evening, being the first female driver to win a Tab Touch WA Pacing Cup. It can't be lost in how good Minstrel was as the trainer or trainers and driver equally as good.
Yeah, absolutely. And the operation that they put through the team out there with the property and the horses and the whole staff, everyone combined, it's a team effort. But Denny's she's been able to take the opportunity that was given to her some time ago now, and she's just taken it with both hands and she's running with it, and it's just great to see. She's such a measured driver in the way that she's been able to control races from the breeze. Just her driving has just improved immensely. She's driving good horses, but she's driving those good horses well, and she just seems to be a really well-balanced driver, and she gets the best out of them, and we've seen that with the results. She's now won, I think, 4 Group 1s, a Slipper, a Derby, also a Pacing Cup, and I think the Westbred 2-year-old race. So that's all in the last 12 months. So sky's the limit for her. She's just going from strength to strength, and with more success, confidence grows.
Certainly does. Ollie, I know you touched on a couple of the beaten brigade, but if Mr. Smarty stays happy and healthy over the next couple of years, his name goes up on the Pacing Cup on a roll in time, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And obviously he's got a few big races coming up for the 4-year-olds there, and he's going to be a huge player in that nugget. You'd have to think that if Mr. Smarty draws to lead or he draws favourably, then he might even go around an odds-on favourite in a nugget, which is a pretty amazing thing given the calibre of the 4-year-olds we've got this year, with Never Ending as well in that mix. So really he's just an outstanding horse, and for a horse that hasn't done a whole lot of racing, to do what he did there on Friday was just outstanding. Minstrel's just a hardened free-for-aller, and he looks to be at the peak of his game. So to only go down 1.5 metres to him is just an outstanding effort from Mr. Smarty, and he continues to get better every single run. So we're probably going to see an even better version of him next year. All
right, before we get to horses to follow, we just spoke to Jocelyn Young on the Sports Daily earlier on about the mares. So that's the next of the Group 1s. The 4-year-olds obviously get their chance Friday night in the 4-year-old championship. Of course, we'll see Skylord nominated for that. That's what we heard from Jocelyn earlier on the Sports Daily. But just the mares race, Matt, if we could get a situation where Steno and Artie by the Seaside both drew the back line, that would make the Mares Classic some sort of race. If they don't, if it's a case where both mares are on the front line, it's clearly just a matter of barrier draws, isn't it?
Yeah, you'd say so. I thought Artie by the Seaside's run on Friday was really good. Just got a little bit tired late, but only narrowly beaten for 4th. And, it's pretty much no one wants to be sitting outside Steno when she's leading with the sections that she can carve out. So, and unfortunately for Artie by the Seaside, she's had to do it twice, and that's the 2 runs where she's been unplaced in WA. So, I do think it's just barrier draw dependent for the pair of them. I thought Steno was good. I thought Little Darling was really good. I thought there was about the first nearly 8 across the line were all decent runs in that race, looking at the way they finished off and given the times and everything like that. I thought there's a lot of mares that are going as good as they can heading towards the Mares Classic anyway. All
right, well, why don't you start us off there with your horses to follow? Little Darling was one of those.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought she was brilliant, Little Darling. Obviously, a bit of a gear malfunction coming into the home straight in that last couple of 100 metres, and she's gone down a half head. So did it cost her? Well, I guess that's up to the people to really decide, but she was really good, Little Darling, and she's been a really talented mare of filly along the way, and I think she's going to play a part in that race, the Mares Classic, in a couple of weeks' time, so she's one to follow. I thought Street Hawk was really well driven on Friday, but both performances back from a spell have been really good, so I think Street Hawk's ready to win. And Blaze Coops, I just like the way Blaze Coops went on Friday night, got out late and hit the line strongly without too much urgency. I think this horse will run a really big race today and is also going to feature in my races and plays of the day. So, Street Hawk, Little Darling and Blaze Coops horses to follow.
All right, we'll circle back around to Blaze Coops in a couple of moments. Ollie, you were in the same boat as Matt in regards to Street Hawk.
Yeah, totally saw it the same way as Matt there. Race 3, I thought Street Hawk was fantastic. Not beaten far by Sky Lou, who's a really high quality horse, and ran a terrific race there behind Soradera at Pinjarra. So I think Street Hawk is definitely one to follow and could even pop up in a big race sometime soon. I thought another horse to follow was from race 7, Sugar Street. I think this horse has generally been a horse that's best saved for one run, but his last couple of runs have been really good. He made a mid-race move 2 starts ago, and I thought he battled on really well there for the horse he is. And then on Friday, he sustained a long run there and wasn't beaten far by Hoppy's Way, who's a pretty classy horse in his own right. So I thought Sugar Street is going at his absolute best and just needs to draw to get a nice run up on speed with something to follow, and he can be one that finishes off and wins the race soon. And then my next horse to follow was out of race 8, Hampton Banner. I thought he was really gallant in defeat 2 starts ago. He led them up. He did a bit of work to get the lead, and he battled on really strongly. Was only beaten in the last 50 metres. And then on Friday night, he went forward in the early stages. He couldn't get a position. He was forced to the rear, and he was still finishing off there quite well over the 2,500, which you wouldn't really think is his best trip. So I think Hampton Banner's going well. He's got brilliant gate speed, and he'll lead and win a race soon.
All right, so Street Hawk, Sugar Street and Hampton Banner for Ollie, Matt, with Little Darling, Street Hawk and Blaze Coops. Now, Ollie, we'll get you to start things off today for Pinjarra. You're going to the opening event. What have you got for us here as one of your plays?
Pretty interesting little trot, this one, the first race. There's probably a few that are a little bit enigmatic. Saloon doesn't win out of turn, and I respect that. He's a Wizard is definitely the best horse in the race, just manners keep letting him down. But I'm happy to be with Aldebaran Marshall in this race. I thought the first up effort was terrific. He was making up ground late and made a break and lost a stack of ground there at Gloucester Park and hitting the line. He was powering through the line, so I thought that was really good. He should be fitter. He's got pretty good gate speed, so I think he can lead them up and then has options from there, but should prove hard to beat. And I don't think Matters will be an issue around the bigger circuit at Pinjarra, so respect, he's going to be really hard to beat there, leading hopefully and winning Aldebaran Marshall. The next one I've got for us at Pinjarra was in race 6. I was happy to be with one last start and just nothing went right. Our Vinny, I thought probably after 100 metres you didn't really want to be on, and they ran a 55 first half over the mile there, and he was working. It was just a total disaster. He was beaten a big margin, but he was entitled to tire there. It was just a brutal run. I think can totally forgive that effort, and his run prior was terrific. I thought he was only beaten about a metre there in 1:56 for the 2100, which is pretty good time. I think he can do similar here. He can be finishing off really strongly in this race, and no doubt there'll be a really strong tempo with Blaze Coops in the race. So I'm happy to be with our Vinny on an each-way basis, and I think he's pretty good odds at the moment. And the third horse I've got for us at Pinjarra today is in race 8. I'm really keen on this horse, 1x3. I thought he was the best of the day for me personally. Trigwell Road, he was brilliant away from the stand recently. He absolutely flew away, and he just ran up to the backside of another horse in the early stages. I think he nearly would have led off the 10-metre handicap there, and today he gets off the front. I think he can lead. He'll hand over to Northview Dance, and I think from there he won't be missing a place, but he's an outside winning hope. So happy to be with Trigwell Road in that stand start at race 8 at Pinjarra today.
All right, so race 1, Aldebaran Marshall, currently with Tab Touch, $2.90 joint favourite. Race 6, Our Vinny, you spoke about the good odds. $8 there for Our Vinny at the moment. And Trigwell Road, the 1x4, is at $7.50 and $2.05 the place. So even if you're interested in the place bet there, that is the way things are shaping up for Ollie's 3 today. Now, Matt, you're also going to be involved in the back part of the program, but you're going to race 5 first and foremost.
Yeah, I thought Spoil the Party's run on Saturday night was really good, and I think this horse can get a reasonable run in this race. I think Cabochon's going to be hard to beat, but sort of an each-way play, 1x3, 1x4 type bet for Spoil the Party, but I think he's going really well, and he's a nice horse, so happy to be with him. Race 5, number 3 on an each-way basis. Race 6, Blaze Coops are marked as the best. I thought would just be charging forward, and I thought would get to the top, and then from there be able to set up victory. It was a really good second 3 starts ago, and since then I think the performances have been full of merit, so I think Blaze Coops will be driven in a forward manner today and be very hard to beat. Race 6, number 7. And in the last, I 100% agree with Ollie. Trigwell Road at the price is just really encouraging price to be jumping into the 750 and 205. I thought would be leaders back behind Northview Dance, and then gets every chance to be able to run it down. But I think Northview Dance is going to be very hard to beat. But yeah, Trigwell Road's definitely the bet. It was the play at the price in that race. So race 8, number 1 each way, race 5, number 3 each way, and race 6, number 7 straight out.
Spoil the Party, $11, and Blaze Coops there, $4.20. So that is Matt's play. All right, very quickly to Gloucester Park here tomorrow night, Jensen. Ollie, we'll let you start. Obviously, you're going to go to the middle part of the program firstly.
Yeah, race 4, I thought one here that could be really good value was I Feel Sickdale. Show Pony, I think, might be able to do enough in the early stages, but there are a few runners, Yankee Lincoln and Premonte Steps, they do have good gate speed, so that'll certainly be a key battle. But I thought I Feel Sickdale, first up from a spell, could get in behind Show Pony. Wall Street Girl gets away from the gate incredibly slowly, so I can't see her holding her spot, and I think from there, I Feel Sickdale will be a really good 1x3 type bet. And then in race 8, I thought Torrivian Pinky was really good first up, was leaders back in that race and just had nowhere to go in the concluding stages, but kept up really well and looked like she had a little bit to give in the concluding stages. I think she can come off the gate early, hold her position and hand over to My Silver Spoon and run a place from there.
All right, so that is I Feel Sickdale there in race 4. And Torrivian Pinky, race 8 there, Ollie mentioning. What about race 6 for you, Matt? That's your first one there.
Yeah, got a good Warhol, gets the perfect draw. He's been close without being able to break through, but I think he gets a great opportunity. So I'll be with him. Race 6, number 1, got a good Warhol, and spot on, agree with Ollie. Race 8, number 1, Torrivian Pinky. I thought the first up run was good. He's got the gate speed to be able to hold and hand to My Silver Spoon, and with pay 1, 2, 3, I think is a sensational place bet. So I think that's one you can anchor in your multis for a place. So race 8, number 1, the place, and race 6, number 1, straight out, got a good Warhol.
Beautifully done. All right, gents, thanks for your time this morning. Matt, you're off to Pinjarra today, racing WA Harness X-Page coverage, Country Derby. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, absolutely. So we'll be out there very soon. And
also to you, Ollie, thanks for your time this morning. Hopefully a few winners.
Thanks very much, Tim.
They are Often Pacing on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
And it's great to have your company on this Monday morning. Matt Young, Ollie Cownie. If you missed their bets, we'll recap them at the end of the hour, and also they'll be up on social media today. You'll be able to catch this podcast on the various podcast platforms. But it's great to have Aiden De Campo with us on the line now. Aiden, a very good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Tim. How are you going?
Going along very, very nicely. We might just start on Friday night if we can. And Captain Ravishing, he's made a really good fist of things here in the West, winning the Navy Cup and then 4th on Friday night. I dare say you were pretty proud of his efforts.
Yeah, I thought he went really good, Tim. Just probably cost us a little bit early when I was hunting through on the back of Minstrel. I just flicked him with the stick once and he wanted to dart in quite bad, and we gave up that position to Mr. Smarty, it probably cost us running, top two. So that's a little bit disappointing, but he probably couldn't have gone any better from the run he had.
Has he taken you by surprise from when you first worked him, or were you always confident from that first time that you got to feel him down here at Gloucester Park on the Saturday morning that he was going to be right there in the thick of things?
No, I always thought he was going to be right there in the thick of things. He's a really nice horse. Just watching from afar, he's a quality animal. And, he ran a super race, and I think he might be staying over here for a little bit longer. So, hopefully he can kind of mix it up with the best of them going forward. Yeah,
do you put your hand up to look after him for the next little while he is here? Of course, Freddie Tabor hinted at that on Friday night on our outside broadcast that he would indeed be staying here and even potentially standing here as well.
Yeah, I think he's staying at Ross and Gemma's. That's where Freddie had him. I think he goes pretty far back with Ross and Gemma. So they know the horse now. They had him for the week before Freddie was here and that. So, I dare say he's staying there, and they'll do a great job with him. And you're happy to keep driving him if that's the way they go? Yeah, hopefully we can hold on to the steer for a few more runs yet, and hopefully can get a couple more wins on the board. All right, it's good news for our free-for-all ranks here, having Captain Ravishing sticking on in the West. Just out of the remainder of Friday night, so you were knocking on the door all night and actually able to win a couple of races as well. Did you get a bit of glowing feedback from the trainer after Belezinero was able to take out the second? Yeah, he was pretty happy, Dill. He was not sure if he was yelling at his horse, yelling at me going past him down the straight. But, he won two in that race, and Dill was really happy. That horse went really good, actually. Got a good trip and, finished on really good. He's, lethal off that cold sit. Certainly is. And then the last, we had to wait for, I think, what many punters had as one of the good things. Frisky Sticks able to take out the final event. Were you happy enough with how he did it? Yeah, he was. He looked like my winner a sure winner for the night, and he got the job done. He didn't break any track records early, but he ran home in the slick last half, and I'm still learning a little bit about the horse, but he's impressed me with his couple runs to date for the stable, and hopefully he can keep going on. All right, and just an eye towards the 4-year-old events. So Frisky Sticks nominated for it. The noms have just come out for this 4-year-old championship. Is it one of those ones, put the nomination in and hopefully you get a start? Yeah, he's probably not got enough form to get a start, that bloke, but I think his best asset going forward, he's got a lot of high speed, so I would like to see him in those better class of races where he can be driven for one run. But, I think the races might be coming up a little bit too soon for him. His form's just not quite there yet. But, we'll just see how he goes. All right. Now, one horse that has struck the first blow in this 4-year-old series is Soradera. You must have been pretty rapt with the way that he went about it down there last week at Pinjarra. Yeah, really happy, Tim. With Black Blackstraw on our back, I was always a little bit worried, and my bloke can get a little bit stargazy out in front when you really go for him and pick for him. But, he managed to hold him off, and, was really happy with him. And I think he'll, continue to improve going through in these 4-year-old races. I think he's right up to him. He's a real quality animal, but, it's a really, really, really good crop of 4-year-olds. So, driven with his high speed, I think that's, something we've got in our corner going forward. Yeah, certainly do. And that's what I was just going to ask. So Mr. Smarty and Never Ending are certainly likely to link up, at least for the 4-year-old classic and then the Golden Nugget as well. Do you give Soradera now a chance in winning form and in good form, getting a couple of confidence-boosting wins at the start of this campaign? You give him a chance of really competing with those big two in particular? To be fair, Tim, you probably need a little bit of luck to beat those two, or them two to go to war or something like that. But look, I reckon the way his racing style can be when he's saved up, he's really lethal for 400, and in those bigger races over the longer distances where everyone's driving to kind of beat each other and stuff like that. I can give him a good chance to be more than competitive in the races, but he needs probably things to go his way to actually win them. Yeah, absolutely. Aiden De Campo is with us on the program this morning. Let's turn our attention to today, if we can, and another feature race down at Pinjarra, and you've got a big part to play. Certainly it looks that way on paper, Mademshah. So you're very happy with him, obviously, after running second in the Derby last week? Yeah, he was really good, Tim. He's probably back to near on his best. He done a heap of work out of the gate and to hold leaders back, and then we kind of got in a bit of a bumping duel down the back and lost a little bit of momentum. And he finished strong, held the rest of the field, was beat by a really good horse on the night. So really happy with him. I've probably the first time I've been happy with him this year, leading up into that race, and since that race I've been happy with him again. So it's come at the right time of year for us, but it's been a frustrating 3-year-old season for him. But hopefully he can repay us at the end of the season now. Yeah, for sure. So did you feel like this was a chance to be able to work forward today, and those inside you might be happy to take the sit on him? Yeah, that'd probably be the plan, Tim. I thought would work forward and try and set a little bit of dominance with a few of the main dangers drawn to our outside, and try and work his way to the front. And I think it's a 2500 that'll suit him as well. So we'll press forward there and hopefully get to the front. Miss Hepburn is in this race as well for you, so Trent takes the drive on her today. If something was to go wrong with Menemshah, and touch wood, we hope that is not the case, could it be Miss Hepburn that's able to capitalise on any chinks in the armour of Menemshah? Yeah, she's a quality horse, Tim. She never really runs a bad race. She always, every time she goes on the track, she always puts in 110%. Even when she probably hasn't run, her best races, she still feels like she's given you her all. So, she'll press forward from the draw as well, and she's going to be up on speed. She got right back last start, first up for a while, so and hit the line really, really strongly. So, if the speed goes into the race, she'll love the 25 as well. And she's lethal off any kind of run. She can sit and sprint, or she can do a little bit of work as well. So just leave that up to Trent. All right, and is the wild card a knockout chance in race number 6? Yeah, probably more of a place chance. Yep. I haven't spoken to David whether we'll fire out the gate or just go back with him this week. Or probably depends on what speed's inside of us. So I'll just work through that with David today, and then go from there. But he's racing well enough without being at his brilliant best either. All right. Well, good luck for the week ahead. Thanks for your time this morning. We do appreciate it, and we look forward to catching up with you again very soon, no doubt, through the course of the 4-year-old series. We'll be speaking to you at length, especially with Sorodere striking the first blow in the series, as I said. Go well. Thanks, Timmy. Appreciate it, mate. There is Aiden De Campo with us on the program. All right, that is us done for another week here on Off and Pacing. Hopefully you're able to find a winner there today at Pinjarra. Of course, Matt, very keen on the prospects of Blaze Coops in race number 6. Also today, he was keen to be with Spoil the Party in race number 5, and Trigwell Road. Both Matt and Ollie suggesting the 1x4 basis for Trigwell Road in race 8. Ollie liked Aldebaran Marshall in race 1 and our Vinny in race 6. So that is the way they're playing today, and both agreeing tomorrow night Teravian Pinky is a terrific place bet in race 8. Ollie also liking I Feel Sickdale. Matt liking Got a Good Warhole in race 6. So that is a look at the next couple of days, and all eyes turn towards the 4-year-old championship here at Gloucester Park on Friday night. Good luck if you're going to be having an investment at Pinjarra today, and hopefully there's plenty of winners for you between now and next Monday, when we'll be back with Off and Pacing. Have a great day.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelpline.org.au.